we got to get up here around the water pump. We're replacing that. That's what started the whole process. So we figured, why not go ahead and wash it all off, and who knows what we'll do while we have it tore apart. It could use a little bit of new blue, so let's see what happens. Ashton's coming up to help me out, and we'll let you guys see what it looks like once we get it done.
Astrid is right there, still pressure washing the tractor. It had a lot of dirt and grime and grit, so we're trying to get it good and clean. You know, I thought about painting it, but I kind of like the patina on it. You guys check this out. Let me know what you think. I think I might just modify the look a little bit. Hey, what do you think? spraying this thing like crazy for about the past 45 minutes. She ran the pressure washer gas out, so she's been running a pretty good while. She went all the way around. She's pretty daggone thorough. I think we're ready to start doing the process of the water pump. You know, I was thinking about actually painting this while I had it apart, but then after we got it sprayed, I kind of think I like the patina. You know, you're not going to get this naturally. So what I'm thinking about doing while we have it tore apart is just spraying with wood paint, just the engine and all this down here, and leave this the way it is and get some patina juice or sauce or whatever it's called on the market nowadays, and give it a good coat. So yeah, now the process of taking this thing apart. Wish me luck. So with everything being wet, I'm definitely going to let it dry. Probably won't do much. Maybe try to get the front end off, but definitely going to let it dry, because I think I am going to try to find some Ford blue paint and paint the bottom half, you know, the motor, the transmission, the rear end, the mechanicals of the tractor. Try to paint that all blue and then leave this the way it is. I like that patina. Probably get some kind of protectant for it. Maybe might replace the stickers. That might look cool. And definitely got to work on this exhaust. Probably do that while I got it taken apart. So yeah, I think I will go ahead and try to start getting the front end off of this. See what it's going to take. Looks like there's a lot of bolts, stuff I've never done. So thank goodness I'm chronicling this on YouTube. So hopefully it helps you guys out too. So I've got it cleaned up. Going to try to get the front clip here off. I think it's going to entail taking the hood there, and the front clip off, which means I got to take this exhaust off anyway. Don't have to take the back console area off. We'll be able to keep that on, I think. But I'm going to get started and bring you back once I got some progress. Start down here at the bottom hole on each side. I took out a 5/8 inch bolt. So just to kind of let you know what goes there. Yeah, mine, I got a nut and bolt on each side of the hood. This one you can see the nut a lot better because you can get behind there with the hood open. The other side you can't. It's a little bit harder, but it worked out. So as you can see on mine, I have a taller one on the right hand side, a shorter one on the left hand side. They're both 1/2 inch bolts and nuts. So I'm going to move on to the next part. All right, quick update on mine. I have a 7/16 bolt here, and on the front somebody has put in a Phillips head that I am having a hard time getting out, but I'll get it out. I just realized that I'm going to have to take that bracket for the exhaust off, so I should probably go ahead and do that. It might be easier just to take that C-clamp off. Let me see which one works out better for taking the bracket off. I was able to spray some good old blaster on there and was able to loosen the bolts, or the nuts, excuse me, on the C-clamp, and just take the exhaust off, put the C-clamp back on the nuts, back on the bolts, and that way I don't lose them. All right, on to the next step. I think that's going to be taking out this breather. Then I'm going to have to take off that bolt there, and then the one on the other side. And I've got to figure out how to get this stripped Phillips head. It is rounded out and not coming out with a bit. So I'll figure that out. Once I get that taken off, I believe I'll bring you guys back and let you see what it looks like. All right, with some vice grips and a 7/16 ratchet socket, I was able to get this, what was a Phillips head screw that was stripped out. I was able to get the vice grips on there and then get underneath there, but unfortunately, but probably good, the bolt ended up breaking, so I'll have to replace that. So all I got left now is the one back there and the one right back here, and this should just come off. We'll see. Wish me luck. After I got the other bolt that was on the back side over here off, unfortunately it broke, which it's okay, we need to replace them anyway, but On mine, this back bolt for the hood is a 7/16 with the washer. And it should, yep, just come right off. All right, with a little bit of help of some more blaster, we were able to get the front clip off from the, I guess the console gas tank area forward. All we have left now is we're going to get the radiator off. I got to spray that with some blaster and see what we can do about getting that off. Probably go ahead and need to take off this radiator hose. So I'll do that and bring you back once I got some more nuts off the bottom of the radiator. They're both 11/16 with the washer, but neither one of them are the same. I have them laid in the configuration they were. This was on the right, this one was on the left. All right, so I'm going to take this fan protector shroud off because it's hitting against the fan trying to get the radiator off. So we've got all three of the screws off the other side, got the two off here, got this one last one that's a little rusty, so I put some blaster on it, letting it set for a few minutes, and we'll see if we can get this off. So these are the screws that were holding the fan shroud on. I was able to salvage one off the right hand side. I got all three off the left hand side, but I'll have to replace it with some more. So I'm going to try to get this radiator out and we'll bring it back. All right, so taking the shroud off of the radiator made it very easy to get that out. So we've got 4 bolts on the front of the fan that are 1/2 inch. Got to get those off and then get the fan off. So let's get that done. All right, so these are so far coming out fairly easy. You can see how loose that fan is. It was like that. I mean, I've loosened these bolts up. It's pretty darn loose. Well, that was on there good. The rust was really holding it. All right. Yeah, see how loose that bearing is in there? So we're gonna take the belt off. We need to replace the belt anyway. So I'm gonna take that off. We'll take that to O'Reilly's or something, get us another belt. This one's just
shredded.
Seen its better days.
The back one's not loose though?
There's only 2.
This is not loose.
I didn't even realize that. Good eye, baby. Like it had 4 1/2-inch bolts, and it appears the other ones might be a 7/16. No, a 9/16. Sorry. Yep. So the bottom here, where am I at? Here, 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 here. The bottom ones are 9/16. The top ones were, top 4 were, well, those are much longer too. Oh, so those must be the ones that go all the way through the water pump and mount to the block. This is, I don't know if this has ever been changed or not. It looks like it. Oops. Yeah, it matches just, looks like it matches just fine. So we got the back of the water pump, all the old gasket cleaned off, sanded it down. So this gasket has a small hole here that needs to cover this hole. And you've got that big opening there. I'm gonna try to get this started. And my alternator bracket was in this hole over here. All right, so I got that started. So there's 3 bolts on the bottom side and this one here. All these other ones with this this water pump that we got, which just came with the front part. So we had to take apart the old water pump, and they come with the gasket, put a new gasket in there, made these back together. And it's got some smaller bolts that tighten that together. Then you have 3 that tighten the water pump to the block itself. And I'm not too sure of the torque spec on this, so I'm giving it about a 70 pound. There we go. There we go. Got the new water pump on there. The other one, the bearing inside here was just wore out. This would play and water was squirting out. So that's when we realized it was time to replace it. Yeah, we pressure washed this yesterday, but still there's a lot of gunk on it. But it's a lot better than it was. It was just coated. So I'm gonna go grab the fan. We'll get that put on here and keep on trucking. All right, so I got the fan. I rebuilt it. Spray painted, I mean. Mess up that high quality paint job I did on there, you know. Right, so we got the fan on, water pump's on. Fan's mounted to the water pump. Okay, I guess the next best thing to do would be to put the new belt on. And I don't have a belt yet, so we can't do that. And I don't have, I'm gonna paint the block and stuff. I got paint ordered. Got to get a belt, got to get a battery, some antifreeze. So right now, I think it's a good stopping point. Kind of look at everything and see what else I can do before I move on. All right, so I'm going to be using this high-tech automotive paint by Seymour. It's an engine enamel, and it's supposedly Ford blue. So we'll get this sprayed on there and see what we think. So I didn't actually, sand everything down perfectly. We just gave it a good once over with the pressure washer. Maybe about a good 10 over because it was covered. Man, the thing's 55 years old. It's gonna look brand new. It's gonna look brand new-ish. Now, I never was a graffiti artist, so I'm sure there's some keyboard commandos out there telling me that I'm doing this all wrong, but I like it. Should probably be wearing a mask, but welcome to the country. Think the fumes make me feel better. We're just gonna rebuild this old tractor. That way. What do you think, baby? Think it's looking great?
Looks fantastic.
Well, that's an extrapolation of the data, but okay. Well, all the other YouTube tractor rebuilders, they say just pour that stuff on. I think it's looking pretty good. I mean, it's still going to be old blue. Now it's going to be old new blue. You know how they used to paint these? Paintbrushes. I got these pieces somewhere. I got to remember what I did them. I think I left them in the little building down there. They need to make these spray cans a little more finger friendly. I mean, look at that. Just stand back and really just take this all in. Sometimes you just got to laugh at yourself, because I'm pretty sure everybody else is. Man, that's looking, that's looking.
Here's looking at it.
Just look at it. I think I'm just going to do the parts that you can look at.
Okay, we're back at the tractor, and we are getting it finished up. We've used some high-tech Seymour rattle can paint to get her back to as close to 4 blue as we could get. Obviously it's not a professional job, but old blue's looking pretty good. We've got the water pump all taken apart and put back together, and Neil put it back on the other day. We were waiting for a new belt, which just came in the mail. Thank you, Amazon. That was a great delivery this morning. We are going to tighten it all back up, put it all back together, and see if we can get it started up. Thanks for watching.
All right, so I'm going to tighten up the alternator so that it tightens the belt up, get everything buttoned up there. Got to get the shroud put back on the radiator, get the radiator put in, get the new bolts on that, and kind of go from there. Kind of playing this, I guess I'm kind of winging it because I don't really remember what went where. Do you? So you guys rewind back and look at what everything goes and then get back and put it in the comments. So I forgot to put this tractor back together because it looks good.
She's all cleaned up.
She's all snazzy dazzy.
She may never run, but you know, that's fine.
Oh well, at least she'll look good sitting here. All right, so just real quick, I did put a new bolt in here coming down from the radiator, and all it had was a nut on that last time when we took it off, if I do recall correctly. I'm also putting on a washer, a lock washer, and then the 9/16 nut. So yeah, I'm gonna get that done and bring you guys back. All right, so everything's coming along good. I've took this hard pipe here that comes off of the where you put your oil in. I forget what it's called. So I painted that black. It was blue. I ran out of blue paint, but I think that looks really good. And also the pipe that goes from here to here is right over there. Probably can't see it, hanging there by the barn. Painted it black as well. Was able to get the front clip mounted back on. Got the lower radiator hose. We're going to try to find the right one. We haven't found a replacement for that just yet. But anyway, and also for the upper radiator hose, we would like to replace those. Painted the tray black. Looking good. So yeah, I'm going to keep going and I'll bring you guys back with the next update. So I'm putting in a ready to use antifreeze. And I'm going to top that off with some water. All right, so I've been up here for a few hours working on old blue here. Like I said, just a quick recap. We painted them blue. We do definitely need to get a couple more cans. We can do that later. But we got the front clip on. We've got the new water pump system put in. We've got the fan shroud back onto the radiator and the fans in there. We've got to find some proper hoses. We're going to replace the hoses up and lower. So yeah, got everything put back together. I kind of painted a few things black up in here to kind of make it look good. So now I'm just connecting the ground wire up, and we're going to see if it'll turn over before we put everything back together. So that's what we're doing now. Right now, so that's why it's so loud, but it's actually running really good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this video up because it's quite long already, and we do think we're going to have to go ahead and do a part 2. We've moved the tractor into the barn because the weather's changing, going to be getting a lot of rain, and we can't really be working on it outside. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you get notified when we do put out part 2 of Old Blue's restoration. Until next time, we appreciate you watching. Have a great day.